automatons, a mechanical figure or contrivance constructed to act as if by its own free will, otherwise known as robots. Robots have been around in some shape or form, from literature, behind the silver screen, and of course, video games. These mechanical forms of life are some of my favourite characters in any kind of fiction, and sometimes are more relatable than the main protagonists themselves. These will be based on their personality, design, and the memories I've shared with said characters. Of course, only one per series rule is authorised, otherwise there is going to be a lot of characters on the same franchise. Anyway, let's boot up the list.
The power is yet unknown.
The collectible monster trays was insanely popular during the 90s, with Pokemon being the king. There was also Digimon, which arguably had the better TV show, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Monster Rancher. But one series asked, would you rather have a robot for a friend?
You really want a robot for a friend?
Yeah, ever since I was 6.
Medabots was created by Natsume for the Game Boy, exclusive in Japan during the Pokemon hype, and spawned into manga adaptations and trading cards. However, Medabots didn't come over to the anime show, which aired around the early 2000s, and was my introduction to the series. Me and my oldest brother were into the franchise, that we collected the built-in action figures, and around 2002, I was given the Game Boy Advance version for my birthday. Yo Pokemon, Medabots had two versions, the Metabee version, and the one I used to own, the Ritusa version, which is the robot that made it to the number 10 spot. Compared to Metabee, he focuses on firepower. Ritusa is more of a melee fighter, relying on his sword and hammer to fight. However, in Medabots you can customize Ritusa and Metabee, which can change your playstyle if you wish to do so. I love the Stab Beetle design with the silver and purple color scheme. Honestly, my love for the character mostly comes from the show, where he plays as the mysterious Proto-Man kind of character. Unfortunately, the series didn't really kick off in the West, only having 3 games available here, and the other 2 are spin-offs. But a lot of my love of robots came from Medabots and Ritusa. Well, Nat and Robot Wars.
The power is yet unknown.
The phrase out with the old, in with the new is thrown around pretty often. But nowadays, what is old is new again. This is a thing that commonly happens in fashion, definitely in films, and of course in video games. If there is one character that describes the retro trend, it will be Rob. I think a lot of people who have been into the gaming culture knows about the downfall of 83, and how Nintendo summoned the video games from the grave. While this was thanks mostly to the original Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System, Rob the Robot did help boost sales for the console, and attracted the general audience with its toy gimmick. The design of Rob is simple, but it's adorable, and kinda reminds me of Wally. And if I'm reminded of Wally, then it's the Miiverse. While Rob started off as a peripheral for the NES, he was also playable in Mario Kart DS, and the Super Smash Bros. Series, starting off with Brawl, where he played a major role in the story mode, the Subspace Emissary. In Subspace Emissary, he served as the antagonist turned good guy, and was my favourite thing about the story mode, especially the scene where he sees his beloved comrades being manipulated by Ganondorf. He's not my main in any of the Smash games, but it would feel weird if he wasn't there.
The power is yet unknown.
Chrono Trigger is one beloved RPG that started out on the Super Nintendo, but I only got my hands on it when it was released on the Nintendo DS in Europe. Due to be a game about time travel, the party members are very diverse, from the cave woman Aya, the amphibious Night Frog, and the robot from the future, Robo. Robo is discovered inactive by the party in the year 2300 AD, in which he is immediately fixed by the lieutenant of the team, Yuta. Like many robots, Robo has a sense of curiosity, studying human behaviour and their activities. He was originally called Prometheus, before he meets the party, named after the Greek Titan who gave the humans the gift of fire and the skill of metalwork. And while Robo didn't give the gift of fire to the humans, he made a big contribution into saving the world alongside the party and made his duty to be on the side of humans when all other robots were being controlled by the tyrant supercomputer Mother Brain. Robo and the other characters are designed by artist Akira Toriyama of Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball fame. And while I'm not the biggest fan of some of his artwork, Robo's design really sticks out with the steampunk look with the brown armor, making him feel that he has been stranded in isolation for a long time. His role of the group is the tank and healer, although he cannot use magic like everyone else. Instead, he fights with his rocket-powered fist, lasers which can either heal or attack, and throw bombs, making him one of the most versatile members and is one of my key choices to use in the party.
The powers yet unknown.
Robots in fiction usually despite to serve and protect humans, no matter the cost. And while some robots may run away from their duties, or even go on a murderous rampage, IDIS is one robot that will have your back. IDIS was created by the Kujihiro group to hunt down shadows, and is one of the party members in Persona 3, later on to be the main protagonist in The Answer. She was built with an artificial emotion processor which gave IDIS the ability to feel like a human and also to summon a persona. IDIS is very protective over the main hero, which is fitting as the name comes from the word Idis, which is interpreted as a shield or armor in Greek mythology that the gods Zeus and Athena used. The shield or armor was made with gold and serpent scales, which matches Idis' gold shoulders and pelvis. In the Persona 3 official design works, the character designer Shigeri Sojima wanted to create a very honest visualization of a manga interpretation of a robot. So he intentionally did not get too detailed with the mechanical aspects of her design. Whilst he does have that robotic side to her design, Sojima intentionally drew her to look more human as we can relate more to Idis and also to build her character of wanting to find her human side. At the moment, I haven't finished Persona 3 Fez yet, so I do not know a lot about her in that game. If I did, she'd probably be a lot higher on this list. However, I used to play a lot of Persona 4 Arena, where she was my main. She has a lot of cool tools, from a Gatling gun to Vulcan cannons, and of course a charge and shield super move provided by her persona, Paris Athena. It was thanks to her design that I got into the Persona series, and without her, I wouldn't have got into one of my favourite RPGs and listened to some killer soundtracks.
The powers yet unknown.
From one robot girl to another, we have Poppy from one of my favourite RPGs in recent years, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. In the world of Xenoblade 2, there are living beings called blades, which are summoned by core crystals. The blades are used to support their partners called drivers in battle. However, unlike other blades, Poppy was created artificially by Tora in a Frankenstein kind of way.
It's moving. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Unlike the other party members in the game, Tora is unable to summon blades from their core crystals. So instead he creates his own, using research by his father and grandfather, as he always wanted to become a driver. Unlike other blades, Poppy can become stronger by getting ether crystals by playing a game called Kaida. She starts out as a tank blade, but can be customized with many different kinds of parts found in the minigame. She also has two different forms, QT mode and QT Pie mode. Wait a second. QT as in cute? QT Pie as in cutie pie? Just done it, NiER. This made sense in a way, as Poppy's designs are based on maids and the popularity of maid cafes in Japan. And it also shows in the relationship between Poppy and Tora, as he always calls him Master Pon, which is what maids will address customers, minus the pun. The interactions and scenarios may seem weird, especially with people who are unfamiliar with maids and Japanese culture. The first scene with Poppy certainly doesn't help, but I do enjoy the interactions between Poppy and the other characters. She even embarrasses Tora, and sometimes makes witty insults towards him, but in the end she is always loyal to him, and vice versa. Poppy may be a robot particularly with her movement and lack of social awareness, but she is able to express various emotions from feeling happy to anger and can even cry. She is a total badass too, being one of the coolest characters to watch. And she is also one of the most adorable characters too. Leave me alone, I like cute robots.
The powers yet unknown.
I've never been into many of Valve's games, like Team Fortress or Half-Life. But I enjoy the Portal games. And of course, being a top 10 robots, yes, a certain antagonist often pops up. But my choice is Wiki from the second game. Wiki is first seen in the opening scene in Portal 2 and helps the main character escape from the testing grounds, and eventually becomes the antagonist halfway through the game, dethroning GLaDOS, and becomes mad with power, sending the protagonist back to the lab. What makes Wiki interesting to me is that he was designed to restrain GLaDOS, making her dumber, but tries to break out of his role as the personality core that screws practically everything up and wanted to come out on top. You see him in the beginning of the game trying his best to help the player, but every time he messes up and fails, and I can relate to that, as I have felt the exact same way on multiple occasions, even if it's just minor tasks like cooking. Robots are normally designed to do one or multiple specific tasks, so seeing him rebel his programming and succeeding for a little while is something to be admired. Of course, the writing, voice acting, and direction to the games are fantastic, and the lines of the games are humorous. Some of my favourite moments come from Whitley's voice actor Stephen Merchant, known for his acting and producing roles on Extras and many other shows and films, who gives him a natural feel of a bumbling idiot. Also points for being British too. The cast of Portal and Whitley are held in high regards, and after experiencing Portal 2, I can see why.
The powers yet unknown.
This character is from a recent game I played this year called Read Only Memories, which is inspired by many point-and-click adventure games, most notably Hideo Kojima's Snatcher. If you're into visual novels or point-and-click games and haven't played it, I highly recommend it. In the game, you appear as a genius who wakes up with a robot breaking in your apartment named Turin. Turin's creator, Hayden Weber, has gone missing and has asked the player if he or she can help him. Turin is named after Adam Turing, who was held as the father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence, and also contributed in the Second World War by cracking encrypted coded messages. He published a paper in 1950, which is we know now as the Turing test, in which he brings out the questions, can machines think like a human? Unfortunately, Ian was prosecuted in 1952 due to having an affair with a young man, as before 1967 in the UK, homosexual activity was illegal, which revoted his security clearance working for the government, and 2 years later died of cyanide poisoning. The concept of robots thinking like a human is discussed throughout the game, And without trying to avoid any major spoilers, Turin appears to enjoy human activities that don't require statistics, like painting, and is able to feel various emotions and react with those emotions that sometimes isn't the most logical. There's one point in the game where he questions his gender identity and whether or not the concept of gender applies to robots. This may link to the creators of the game, Midboss, who are huge LGBTQ supporters, with many of its employees being part of the LGBTQ community, and contributed to found the convention Gamer X. This game and its characters, most notably Turin, is a tribute to Alan and his contribution to computer science, as well as the LGBTQ community. Turin has a blue round head that acts as a computer monitor, which leads into one of the most creative ways to express a character's face, some of them unusual. Plus, the voice actress Melissa Hudson, known for roles such as Clementine from The Walking Dead, gives a great job giving Turin any informative yet curious personality.
The powers yet unknown.
When thinking of robots in video games, the Mega Man franchise is what normally comes to mind for most people. Well, Net and Portal. You, of course, have the main hero, Mega Man, who was inspired by Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy and Kazunuko's Kasan. There is also the successor to the Blue Bomber, Mega Man X. But my favourite has always been X's longtime friend and rival, Zero. Zero debuted onto the scene in the first Mega Man X game as a sort of inspiration for X and the player. He became first playable in X3, but unfortunately only in certain areas, but became fully playable in X4, which was also my introduction to the entry of the Mega Man series. Funny enough, as a kid I mistaken X and Zero as Power Rangers, due to how they entered the stages. Zero was created by Dr. Wily to surpass Dr. Light's greatest creations, who became uncontrollably violent and had to be sealed for decades. He was then reawakened by a group of Reploids, in which he brutally massacred them and encountered Sigma, who punched the crystal in his head, causing Zero to use his violent outbursts. He then became a member of the Maverick Hunters, who hunt down robots that threaten society. Similar to Wheatley, who was designed to be one thing, Zero rebelled against his creative purposes and struggles with his past of becoming on what Wily intended for him to be. But unlike Wheatley, who became mad with power, Zero eventually succeeded bringing peace to humans and Reploids. His design is so cool. He is such a total badass, and is so much fun to play in the X games, as well as in the Versus Capcom games.
The lightsaber and wing, wing, wing.
Unlike X, who focuses on keeping his distance with projectiles, Zero is more of a melee-centric fighter who has amazing mobility options, and the way I play games, I tend to enjoy characters who hit fast and perform insane combos. When I play as Zero in these games, I feel so powerful and feel like a badass. And isn't that what sometimes you want in a character?
The powers yet unknown.
The Sonic franchise has a lot of robots to choose from. You have Orbot and Cubot from the recent titles, the hard-boiled heavies from Sonic Mania, E123 Omega, and Metro Sonic is a fan favourite. But the one character that stands out to me is E102 Gamma from the Dreamcast classic Sonic Adventure. E102 Gamma is part of the Sonic series created by Dr. Eggman, who started out working for the Mad Scientist, but eventually disobeyed him, referring to him as the enemy. Eggman is never good at keeping his robots in line, but instead of going after Eggman, Gamma decided to set his family, the E-Series, free by destroying them, releasing the animals inside. Voiced by the late Steve Brody, Gamma has a robotic voice that is deliberate and to the point, but does pause every now and then to process the situation, similar to a computer, making one of the most accurate robots on this list. However, he does show some emotion, as you see him raise his voice when he is negotiating with Amy on the egg carrier, and pauses in shock when he sees his big brother E101 Beta being reassembled. Gamma has a pretty cool design that seems to be an updated Ed Robo with the red, yellow and white color scheme. Sega also has some fixation for the motor designs too, as he is equipped with a headlight and some engines around the waist. He also can transform his legs into wheels when he runs for a short period of time, and has propellers coming out where he is hovering on water, which as a kid thought was one of the coolest things ever. Whee! With a gallery of characters in the Sonic franchise, with some changing drastically, it's nice to see a character that has remained the same, even though he's only appeared in one title, making him standing out as my favourite Sonic character. The Sonic series isn't really known for its moving stories, but the first time playing Adventure, finishing Gamma's story, I was completely emotional seeing him perish and destroying his brother, making him one of my favourite robots in gaming.
The power is yet unknown.
Their number one choice was tough to choose from, as for a while Gamma was my favourite robot, mostly due to the impact I had as a kid playing his story mode in Sonic Adventure. However, someone took that spot, making quite the impact on me. Last year I played a game that emotionally shook me, and that game was NiER Automata, developed by Platinum Games and created by Yoko Taro, known for the original NiER and Drakengard games. NiER Automata is set in the world where aliens took over from the humans with the help of machines. You play as a group of androids 2B, 9S, and A2, who have to get rid of these machines. However, we learn that the aliens and the humans have been extinct for years, leaving both androids and machines without a purpose. We also learn that the machines have been mimicking human behaviour and even attempt to dress up with bows and top hats, as well as performing other activities. Throughout the game, we see these machines becoming more sentient, growing their conscious and creating their own societies, as we see this during an encounter with a village full of pacifists, with their leader being Pascal, who is my number one favourite robot. Pascal shows a lot of interest in human philosophy, including the works of Blaise Pascal, in which he is named after. Blaise Pascal is a French philosopher and mathematician, known for inventing the Pascal's wager, an argument in philosophy to act as if God exists using probability. While Pascal identifies as male, he is voiced in both Japanese and English by female actresses. According to Yoko Taro, this was because he chose a voice that would soothe children. However, in actuality, it was because Taro-san, the game designer at Platinum Games, who created Automata with Taro, declared, "I would not work if you do not use the voice actress Aoi Yuki." This may be due to that mothers are often portrayed in media as the more nurturing role than fathers, but this also makes him stand out than any other machines, who all sound the same, distincting him as one of the main characters and his role as the parent in the village. He makes quite the impact on the player characters, most notably A2, who at the time before her encounter with Pascal, she was filled with hatred towards the machines, with a passion. But due to his kindness and human personality, she had a change of heart, questioning her purpose. This also led to one of the most saddest moments I've experienced ever in any media, as while A2 was off for a fetch quest, the village goes into chaos, as most of the machines start going berserk and eating each other. A2, Pascal, and some of the children flee to a nearby abandoned factory, but is shortly attacked by an army of machines, in which Pascal, goes and helps A2 take care of them. Unfortunately, once they wiped the imposing force, the children decided to take their own lives out of fear. He originally taught them fear, which he thought would protect them from danger. Instead, the fear resulted them in suicide. Pastel gives A2 and the player to give the choice of either ending his life or wiping his memories. This was one of the hardest decisions I had to make in a game. As first time playing Automata, I was indecisive for 30 minutes, thinking what to do, as throughout my time playing, he was the most nicest and sweetest character who had helped me throughout the game, only for him to break down in tears. I selected neither, as instead I walked out of the factory, leaving him to his own decision. I thought to myself, was this the right choice? At that moment, this question popped into my head. Can you truly be alive without your own identity? While many games go into discussing, can robots have human emotions? Automata goes into deeper topics, like what does it mean to be human? And what does it mean to be truly alive? Wow, this topic went into some dark and deep territories. Feel a little bummed out. Maybe some music would help to cheer me up. That's more like it. Till next time.